Welcome to Football Scientific. I'm Aaron Slaughter. I'm a writer for FootballAnalysis1.com. I cover the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go Bengals! I'm Tyler the Tiger. I also cover the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the CFL. Let's go Tiger Cats! Let's go CFL! Boop, 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 boop. Season starts next week. Yes, season starts next week. That's true. On Football Scientific, we also cover the NFL, CFL, UFL, IFL, NAL, ELF, and any other football that seems legitimate, not AF1. Boo. AF1. Okay, so all we're going to do today is a quick catch-up video. There's been a lot of things happened the last couple days in football. There's some games going down yesterday. There's some more games going on today, but we're just going to update things. Here we go. So, first in NFL, Bryce Huff is going to be traded to the from Philadelphia Eagles to San Francisco 49ers. Okay, we reported that yesterday, but there's more details available. So, last year, or maybe in the early part of this year, he was reworked the contract with Philadelphia for $16.75 million. He's going to be traded to the 49ers. The Eagles will still pay $9.05 million to that, but the Niners will pay $7.95 million. So Philly will save some money on the salary cap with that move. The Eagles will also get a mid-round draft pick in return for Bryce Huff. So I guess that's where he stands in their mind. Not great. Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud is having a pectoral issue. He's not practicing right now, but I mean it's early, so he's probably not feeling that bad. Kansas City Chiefs. Wide receiver Rashee Rice. He's continued to have trouble. He had a street racing crash that hurt some people in 2024. He's still having some lawsuits with that. He's re-updated with that. More lawsuits. Boom. New England Patriots. They're now really feeling sad. We're regretting signing wide receiver Stephon Diggs. I mentioned when he was available. You know, I said the Jets, the Patriots, and the Bills were all looking at Stephon Diggs. And I said, Buffalo, don't take him, man. He's been injury prone. He's at the end of his career. He's going to start making crazy decisions, and he's doing that now. He's getting caught up in the moment, and the Patriots having to deal with it. That's better for them than for us, Buffalo. Good job. Las Vegas Raiders edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz said he should be good to go for this year. He missed all last year with a knee injury. Boom. All right. In the CFL, we have 4 preseason games yesterday. I mentioned a lot of these games the other team was going to win just because people are not playing their starters, and I didn't think, these bunch of these are rivalry games. I didn't think their other team was going to let them sweep the games, and that pretty much happened across the board. So, Toronto Argonauts picked up the win against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They threw the ball for 259 yards, 199 yards rushing. They had 1 sack. No turnovers, and I mentioned on my pregame article that the Tiger Cats need to force some turnovers. They did not. Tiger Cats, 3 for 214 yards, only ran for 69. If you don't run in the running game, you're not going to win the CFL most of the time. I do have one exception to that. That's because of turnovers. So if you don't win in the running game, but you can force turnovers, you still have a chance to win. But Tiger Cats didn't either. Toronto won 30-23. If you bet on that, you won that bet. Boom. Okay, Montreal Alouettes. 24-16. Okay, this one bucks the trend. So Alouettes 3 for 261 yards, ran for 32. Yeah, but Red Blacks 3 for 210, ran for 133. On paper, they should win the game, but they had 2 fumbles they lost. 2 fumbles lost, 2 turnovers. That puts Montreal in the driver's seat. They sacked Ottawa's quarterback 4 times. Only giving up 2 sacks. So those 2 turnovers set up the Ottawa Red Blacks for failure, and Montreal wins as predicted. If you bet on them, you would have won that money, as I mentioned yesterday. Okay, next, Winnipeg Winnipeg Blue Bombers traveled to the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. They won 27-20. They ran for 225 yards. They ran for 107 yards. They win the run game. They're going to win the game unless they lose in the turnover battle. They did throw away an interception. But Saskatchewan threw for 302 yards, only ran for 50 yards, and they had an interception and a fumble that they gave up. So that's 2 turnovers. They did not win the running game. Winnipeg wins 27-20. Okay. Next, I really thought the BC Lions were going to handle the Edmonton Elks. Elks played so badly last week, but BC was playing a lot of backups, and they gave them a chance. So how did it go down? Well, it wasn't easy for Edmonton. They threw for 265 yards, but they threw 2 interceptions. They ran for 70 yards. They only had 2 sacks. Really, they should have lost that game. Okay. BC Lions had 276 yards passing, 81 yards rushing, no turnovers, but they gave up 6 sacks. On paper, BC should have won that game, but on the preseason, Edmonton Oaks won the game. It doesn't matter. It's a preseason game. Real games start next week. I believe Thursday night. That should be pretty fire. Okay, and the UFL, longtime offensive lineman in spring football, John Yarborough, has retired. He's played 26 spring football games, well, alternative football games, really. So he played for the Tampa Bay Vipers in the XFL. He played for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the CFL. Go Tiger Cats. Go Tiger Cats! He played for the Houston Gamblers in the USFL. He played for the Houston Roughnecks in the XFL. He played for the San Antonio Brahmins. Let's go, Brahmins! In the UFL, and this year he played for the DC Defenders in the UFL. He's calling it quits. He's played 26 games. He's out. Okay, last night, St. Louis Battlehawks faced DC Defenders in DC. This game really meant nothing to either team. A bunch of backups were played. St. Louis Battlehawks quarterback Brandon Silverscan went 6 for 8 for 105 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. That's not impressive, but he didn't throw an interception. They ran the ball 31 times, running 46 yards. That's going to win you the game. Because DC Defenders, they had their backup quarterback, Mike DeLillo. He went 18 for 26 for 142 yards and a touchdown. They ran for 106 yards. Probably not good enough to win the game because they got outrushed. Battlehawks win 13-8. That puts the Battlehawks at 8-2, their best record ever, and DC Defenders. But it doesn't matter because DC is still going to St. Louis. No matter what would have happened, they would still be going to St. Louis next week for the XFL Conference Championship game. Okay, in the IFL, a shocker to me, really, but not really now that I know Daquan Neal came back. They're not the best at updating their charts in the IFL, so I did get blindsided on this one. I did not know Daquan Neal was back. I thought Tulsa would win the game, but Daquan Neal is back for Quad City Steamwheelers right in time to stop a 2-game losing streak. He went 10 for 18 passing for 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's huge. He ran the ball 13 times for 48 yards and a touchdown. They ran the ball. They threw the ball. Kevon Rudd, Jordan Vesey, they all had a great game. Tulsa Oilers, quarterback TJ Edwards went 12 for 20, 98 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He ran the ball 10 times for 52 yards and 3. But here's a stat of the game that defines the game. He threw 2 interceptions. So TJ Edwards, 2 interceptions versus Daquan Neal's no interceptions gives Quad City a chance to get off the losing streak. They win 31-27, and they're back at 7-2, back at the top of the Eastern Conference. Tulsa Oilers are in the mix for a playoff spot in a 3-way tie with Jacksonville and Green Bay at 27. I kind of felt Tulsa was going to win the division, but I don't think they're going to. Did I say Jacksonville? It's hard to remember what I said several months ago. Okay, Green Bay Blizzard played the Fishers Freight. Fishers Freight, 6-game losing streak, but Green Bay Blizzard been playing pretty good football. Quarterback Mike Smiler for Green Bay went 8 for 15 for 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He ran the ball 10 times, 20 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The running game was working. Jalen Connor or whatever, he had 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 touchdown, so that was a good game by them. Fishers Freight, because of injuries, have new quarterback Carlos Diego or something, and he went 11 for 19, 93 yards, a touchdown, 13 runs for 50 yards and a touchdown, but he did throw an interception, and that's enough to give the game to Green Bay. They won 55-39. About what I expected, honestly. So if you bet on that, you would have won that one. Okay, all right. Northern Arizona Wranglers. So some teams made some moves for tonight going into tomorrow. So Northern Arizona Wranglers signed kicker Michael Hall. Check for him when they play. They moved to the short-term IR list. Davia Gabor, not Glob. And they moved to the short-term IR list. Dion Thomas. They signed wide receiver Gary Brown. The San Antonio Gunslingers. They released 2 guys, running back Carl Odom and wide receiver DJ Murray. I don't know. They moved to a short-term IR list offensive lineman Matt Burrell, and they signed defensive line Michael Anderson and wide receiver Carl Reynolds. Carl Reynolds, my bad. Okay. They also traded with Bay Area Panthers. They sent a future consideration to Bay Area. Bay Area doesn't need more players right now, but they received defensive lineman Jack Daly. Okay, so we'll see if he makes an impact for San Antonio. They're trying to get back into the playoff race. San Diego Strike Force, they signed wide receiver Jalen Sample, defensive lineman Ifini Maja, and they released defensive back Ty Konya Brown. And on the short-term IR list, Jalen Joyner. So San Diego's trying to make a push. They're right there in a playoff spot. They're competing hard for a playoff spot. Should be a competitive game. Should be a good night of football. IFL, UFL plays at 3. They may already be playing. I haven't checked the time. CFL should be making their roster cuts. I'll be writing an article about the Hamilton Ticats roster cuts in the near future. I'm working on a fantasy football analysis for the NFL. Top 24 quarterbacks or so in the NFL fantasy football. That should be on footballanalysis1.com sometime. I don't know when. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, like it. If you enjoyed the channel, subscribe. If you're a gambler, you should be winning a lot off my picks. My picks have been fire, so you should be winning a lot off that if you're into gambling. If not, don't gamble, kids. Remember, gambling is bad. I don't gamble, and you shouldn't either. Okay, so that's the plan. Football Scientific, the portal is closed.